Alright, so here we go. This is going to be Heads of No Limit versus Yuri. And, I've got a lot of history with Yuri, and I feel like he's a pretty decent player. I feel like this match may not be quite as tough as it was against Kurt, but it's not going to be simple. He knows enough of my game and enough dynamics that it's going to be at least, somewhat of a challenge. I've been learning 3x dynamic lately because he used to kind of kill me at 3x since I didn't really understand some of the ranges, but I feel like I've improved my game in that area, so I might try some min raising against him as well. I didn't do any min raising against Kurt in the last video because I just felt like he wouldn't play very badly against it, but I think that Yuri might get more caught up in tactical diversions against min raise than Kurt would. Kurt would just treat the min raise as whatever and just kind of leave it alone and not try to dick with it that much, but Yuri might get a little more, I feel like Yuri is a little bit more tactically creative than Kurt sometimes, so he might go a little more out of his way to try to make some weird moves back at me if I play some small ball min raise lines. But I'm going to start off 3xing and kind of see how he responds to it. Looks like oh, that's right, okay, he min raises against me because he knows I'm not going to defend that wide against 3x usually. So I have a little bit different dynamic out of position against him than I do against Kurt. Let's see. What weaknesses do I think Yuri has overall in his game? I think he can get into phases of pushing his momentum too hard if he's winning and then kind of overextending and blowing it, which I can do too, so I kind of understand that tendency. Let's see. I don't know. We'll talk more about possible weaknesses as they come up. Yuri can play in a lot of different ways depending on how he's feeling that day, I think, and he can be a little inconsistent. I think that the difference between his defending range against 3x and against min raise will be somewhat big, as it should be, but he's going to 3-bet a lot more against 3x than he would against min raise, I think, which is probably correct. So I guess if I'm 3xing him, we're going to be playing more polarized, and more decisions are going to get made earlier in the hand. Whereas if I'm min raising him, it's going to be more tactical, and we're going to be playing more in response to like changes in board texture on the turn and river. I'm just going to have to fold to his half pot here. He could have lots of things, but it's very, very frequently likely he just has an ace here, and half pot is a fine c-bet sizing there. I personally prefer that. So I'm going to 3-bet kind of a lot against his min raise with both merged hands and some bluffs. Slanted toward merged hands, maybe 2/3 merged value hands and like 1/3 kind of suited connector bluffs or offsuit connector bluffs, depending on game flow and depending on how much he's folding to 3-bet at the time, which I think he will adjust a fair bit depending on game flow. So yeah, like I say, Yuri is a very tactical and dynamic player, and he will adjust a lot to game flow. I think he is more tactically oriented than Kurt. Like, I think that his tactics are sometimes really good, depending on like how accurate his read is at the time. But his strategic, his strategic understanding, broader strategic understanding is not quite as solid as Kurt's, I don't think. So I have more opportunities to get him into some weird, like underbetting and merging spots and shit that I probably could not play against Kurt as much. He's, because like I say, he's a little bit more willing to tactically play back instead of trying to strategically play back. We can talk more about that, what that means as we go. Here I'm going to check turn. A common line for me here against him is going to be the half pot flop and check turn, because I think that he'll be inclined to try to steal stuff from me. Although this is not a great turn card. I am drawing to a bad flush, but I'm going to have to check call for half pot. And check decide the river here. I probably will fold the river. I can't imagine. Yeah, he pots the river. I mean, that looks like the 6 seems unlikely. Could have the flush. I don't think a king would bet that sizing. Why do I don't know. Like, I feel like I have an instinct that he might just have nothing here because it doesn't look like he should be able to have anything with that sizing combination. But at the same time, it's going to be really bad momentum this early in the match if I call and I'm wrong and he just has like the flush, or if he could probably thin value bet a king here maybe just to look counterintuitive and try to rep a bluff. So actually I'm going to fold it, even though my first instinct I think was to call. I just feel like he can do stuff. He's capable of those kinds of levels. And now I'm going to, whoops, did not mean to limp the button there, and that was supposed to be a min-raise. I'm going to switch into some min-raising since my stack is a little smaller and I failed to pick up momentum early on with my free Xing. Gonna back off my aggression a little bit and just fold flop here is fine. Definitely Yuri can get into phases where he's being very aggressive and pushing his momentum, which I think is good as long as you don't push it too far. But he's also going to let me speculate a whole lot. I'm going to check raise this. Either that or, well, maybe that or check call donk. Going to check raise it big. And hope it looks like I'm just angrily defending, trying to keep momentum back. Because I did it real polar. That's how he folds. Okay, that's fine. It still gets me a little momentum, even though he doesn't kind of give me any action. Suppose I could have check min raised or check call donked or something, but I'm going to switch into some min raising now. And try to use some, try to keep pots a little bit smaller and use some post-flop tactics to sort of steal back some momentum since I started off with kind of bad momentum on that hand with the sevens. I'll try some half-pot leads here, even against, I feel like that's really small against a min-raise, but it lets me do it with a very high frequency, which could confuse him into, like, misreading the spot when I have a hand or something. I'm trying to confuse him into misreading my frequencies, basically. And thinking that I'm being more aggressive than I am. That's often the goal with a lot of small ball stuff. I'm going to call his raise because I am drawing to this queen flush. I don't like the turn very much. I'm going to check it. If I had good momentum and or fold equity, I could check jam the turn against a big bet. But I feel like I can actually have reverse implieds against the ace or king of spades here now. If he keeps going after this, and my pair of three is certainly not good. So I'm actually going to give it to him again. Just let him, just fold, let him have it. Just got to have poor momentum, and I want to have some serious equity when I make a play back at him at this point, because my momentum is just not very good. Now, normally I'd be switching into 3x to regain momentum, but since I started off 3xing, I kind of have to switch the other way into min-raising to try to gain some tactical momentum. But that would not work as much against a player that's less willing to go into silly tactical stuff. Like, against Kurt, I'd probably can't really use min-raising to try to regain momentum. But against Yuri, I probably can because he's willing to play more tactical leveling stuff post-flop. You know, he's more willing to let less money go in early sometimes, and then try to make tactical reads on the turn and river more often. So I feel like I can use min-raise to regain momentum against him more easily. I'm just going to check fold here because I have 0 momentum and, like, nothing. I'm going to need to be, against min-raise is going to be pretty different. I'm going to defend a lot more, but I'm going to be, if I have poor momentum, I'm also going to be just check folding. Now, he could check back flop here with a hand to let me barrel into him. I hate the river. I check here and probably fold to a bet. Yeah, I think he's got it here a lot. I'm just going to start actually folding some buttons because my momentum's just awful right now. I haven't really started off the match too well in terms of hitting stuff, so. I'm actually going to, I normally flat, like, almost everything. I mean, against min-raise, I'm normally going to be flatting, like, I'm going to be defending a total of, like, you know, 80% of hands or something against min-raise most of the time. Sometimes as far as 100% if I have really good post-flop momentum, but I'm also going to have to, the worse my momentum is, the more I'm just going to have to give up flops. It's just, I can call really wide. I guess I'll just, I don't know. It's a tough call between leading and, like, playing a passive check call type line here to catch bluffs, but I think go with the passive check call line. I can actually lead half, well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to lead half pot for, like, kind of pot control blocking bet here. If I get raised, it's a pretty easy fold. He calls. I hate the river. I don't think he's inclined to fold me much right now because he knows I'm trying to regain momentum. So I check, and he probably bets, and I fold. Yeah, I think he has it. Making some pretty exploitative folds here, but that's okay, because, again, especially as I'm getting shorter. Now my range is going to change. My button range, my pre-flop range are changing a lot now because I'm really short comparatively now. With only 40 big blinds, I can't do nearly as much. So I'm going to defend more tightly even against min-raise. Stack size is going to start to make a huge difference to my pre-flop ranges now. So we're thoroughly entrenched in the min-raise tactical game now, which is very different from my dynamic with Kurt. I gotta fold this junky hand to a 3-bet. And so Yuri's got some early momentum here, so I'm just gonna have to kind of stay out of his way a little bit for a while. Just exploitively fold a good bit until I start to hit something and he thinks I'm desperate to regain momentum and hopefully calls me down light. Or maybe I just get a good hand and get it all in pre-flop and double up, something like that. Now, even though I'm short, if he continues to min-raise, I should still be defending hands like this, at least for a flat. I cannot 3-bet it because I'm way too short, but I think I can still flat it and hope to flop something and just kind of easily check fold if I don't. Like, see I flop a janky pair. I don't expect him to one and done here very much, so I can't even check call one barrel. I'm just going to fold a flop. I do expect him to be c-betting a fair bit right now, but that's one of the spots where I just got to check fold flop against a strong pot bet because he's not going to stop betting often enough, and I can't call down 3 barrels. And see here, I can't even c-bet it because I just have poor equity and no image, or no momentum really. So my c-betting should be very value heavy right now. He leads turn, I just have to fold. He knows I have no momentum. He is folding some buttons. I guess he's probably adjusting to my short stack now by folding some weaker hands on the button, which is good. I get 2 overs gutter. That's not terrible. Although the 8 is possibly not a clean out. But finally, I think I'll c-bet here. I got some equity, and he can have nothing sometimes. He check shoves me. I mean, he's got to have me beat here, like almost always. I'll fold it. Well played. I guess he's still just not giving me any credit, so I can't be attacking much unless I have it. But I got to keep up a little bit of aggression in order to avoid getting perceived as just absurdly passive. So now I'm just trapping with my top pair because I want him to go nuts. Let's see, check shove would be... I'm going to check call. That's a bad turn card, but if he barrels it, I'll check shove because he might just barrel because he's got lots of momentum right now. He's got the ace. Oh well, it sucks. I can represent an ace actually because ace high is a decent part of my flop check call range here a lot of the time. I might actually be check folding it right now because I'm so short. He calls with an 8. Wow, very nice. I don't know if he puts me on a flush draw or what there. I think he probably does put me on a flush draw. Or just like air trying to represent the ace. He might have seen the ace as a reverse scare card there, so. Got a little momentum back, gonna switch back to 3x. So this theme of like switching between 2 different open sizings depending on your momentum level is something I'm kind of working on. It sort of depends on which one's your default against that player, and then which one you want to switch into to change gears. Of course, sometimes you might not even really want to change gears, depending on how they play, but I don't know, it gets complicated. Since I'm a little bit deeper again now, I'm still shallow with 50 big blinds, but I'm just going to fold to his 3-bet. I'd like to try to regain some momentum without sticking in such a big percentage of stacks pre-flop. With 100 big blinds, I would have called that 3-bet, but I mean, like, for like 20% of my stack at this point, 20% of effective stacks, 9-8 offsuit is just not really going to cut it. I'm just going to miss and have to fold too often. And again, I'm folding buttons now. I'm playing more of a normal 3x strategy right now. The thing where you like 3x 100% of buttons usually is only working against people that are really like going after you. Or I'm sorry, that are really not going after you. That are really just, oh cool, flop a set. And of course I'm playing trappy out of position right now because I'm short and I want him to just barrel off into me and do silly stuff. So I'm going to try check call donking this time. check call donk half pot and hope that he'll look at it as a pot control line and maybe bluff raise me, or just not believe it and call, and then I can like overshove river to rep a bluff or something like that. I'm hoping he raises, but oh god, okay, 5 in the river. I'm gonna overshove river and represent bluff because the 5 is reverse scare. Of course, if he has a 5, I just go broke, and that's too bad. But I hope he can interpret. Obviously, this looks very polarized, and it's a reverse scare spot. So I'm merging my range somewhat here by shoving with less than the straight, because I think that he'll think I see it as a scare card. I think he'll see it as a reverse scare card, and sometimes call me down, just putting me on a bluff. But I guess he also knows, like, okay, yeah, he also knows I could thin value there because of reverse scare. So that's several levels of thinking in that spot. That's interesting. Maybe I should have checked river to trap again. I mean, he might have bluffed into me. I don't know. But that maybe helped me regain a little momentum at least. Again, since I'm still a little short, I'm not going to defend every random silly hand against min raise, but I'm still going to defend a lot. Like, it's a pretty big mistake, I think, to be defending too few hands out of position against min raise, because you just miss way too many opportunities to flop something when you're getting 3 to 1. Just like, if you flop something you like even a quarter of the time, then you should be flatting the min raise at least. It's just, you have to play very different against min raise than you do against 3x. I don't like this flop. It just nails the flatting range against my 3-bet. I'm pretty much check folding here. I have like nothing. I'm too short to try to like run a big multi-barrel bluff because I can't threaten that much. I just have no real incentive to do much of anything other than check fold here with just 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. I suppose c-betting half pot is not horrible, but it's just the kind of flop texture that I'd rather just put in my check fold range because it hits a flat 3-bet range so hard. He checks back. Oh, I turned the king. Well, that's a good turn. That's a good. I'm gonna pot the turn now. Hopefully rep a bluff. No, he just insta-folds. That's fine. I guess potting turn there can also represent a failed turn trap, so it's kind of ambiguous. But I'm mostly just potting that spot. I guess I'll half pot it sometimes, but you know. He 3-bets big again. Yeah, okay. I gotta be careful with my 3x's because he's gonna 3-bet them a lot, and if I don't have much I can defend against, maybe I should have min raised the 10-7 off. Min raising also makes it much easier to call a 3-bet, which is one of its advantages. So actually, yeah, okay, because he's 3-betting so much, I'm gonna min raise the button here. That's another reason to min raise. If someone's 3-betting your 3x's like a ton, min raising makes it easier to call their 3-bet. I just flop nothing. Whatever. Probably check call 1 barrel here. Well, I don't know. Depends on how likely I think. Yeah, okay, he checks back. Cool. I think I can just actually pot turn here and take it down a lot. Because I think he knows I'm trap checking flops a lot with hands right now instead of leading. So my turn lead range after checking 3 flops should look pretty strong. He checks back flop and raises turn. Fine. Good hand. Well played. I didn't expect that. Nice hand. Okay, so here I'm going to 3x because this is the hand that I can actually call a 3-bet with comfortably. And I think he's 3-betting a big frequency against my 3x right now. Much more than he would be against my min raise. So what's he gonna do here? Yep, he's gonna 3-bet. I call. Flop, well, open ender. That's not terrible, I guess. I'm gonna ship the flop if he bets, because I think he's 3-betting often enough that he just can't have an ace that often. And if he calls me with a 9 or 10, that's okay. I'm even money against that. So I think I'm gonna have enough fold equity to shove, because he 3-bets such a high frequency against my 3x right now. Like, I think perhaps I don't know if this is true, but it's possible that he thinks I'm 3-betting, or it's possible he thinks I'm 3xing weak hands and min-raising good hands, or something like that. I'm going to pot it here. If he wants to check shove, it's fine, I'll call. Although I guess I am kind of dead if he check shoves an ace. That's an excellent play if he check shoves an ace. I just wanted to pot it to get more money in earlier, because I think it's pretty rare that he has an ace right now. But now I've pretty much committed myself to calling if he does check shove. So if he actually check shoves an ace here, he pretty much owned me, and nice hand, and I'll have to rebuy. But his 3-betting frequency against my 3x is so high right now. I just can't imagine he has an ace that much. Watch him like tank and check shove. No, I think he's trying to decide what to do with like a 10 or something. Some marginal hand. Yep, he's got the ace probably. 7s, wow, okay. That's weird, but okay. I think I win unless he gets an 8. Nope, we're good. Yeah, I hate that. I think that's horrible. That just, he has to, I mean, he's just never good when he gets called. I mean, me having like Queen Jack there is like the best case scenario for him, like flipping there. I think that's really bad. But again, actually, so talking about open sizings, I'm going to try some exploitative leveling with open sizings against Yuri here. I'm going to start 3xing basically just good hands and min-raising weak hands and sort of see how that affects his 3-betting, because he 3-bets my 3x so often, it almost seems like he's just doing that because he thinks my 3x is weak or something. So yeah, 3x a good hand here. He just folds, that's fine. Yeah, he just lost momentum there with that weird 7s check shove that I think is awful. Again, I have to defend like almost everything against min raise. That's just not a good flop. I've been checking a lot of flops. I haven't been leading very much this match. And that's not really a good flop for me to try to steal on. I actually can check raise here, though, because I rarely check raise, and I can rep something pretty easily, and he can often have air trying to retake the momentum. And I think that he tends to give my check raise pot credit because I just don't check raise very often. My frequency is just very low. Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, now I have to give up. Because I feel like he's fitter folding pretty much against my big check raise there. And so if he doesn't fold to it, I feel like he just isn't going anywhere. Very often at all. So now I check, I think as a king a lot, or maybe even the 4, but now I check fold. So again, I'm going to 3x good hands for now, and see if I can get him to 3-bet me too much. Nope. Okay, I guess he's backing off his 3-bets against my 3x now because he lost momentum with that big 7s hand. Again, we're defending like lots of stuff against min raise. I don't know. Trying to find a spot to start sneaking in some leads since I've got better momentum now, but I haven't really found a lot of good boards for it yet. And I'd kind of like to have a hand the first time I do it in case he assumes it's just me trying to steal momentum. So I'm sort of waiting to flop a good hand after I flat out of position. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna min raise weak hands for now. See what he does. He does 3-bet that. Wow, when he 3-bets it at the same size, he would 3-bet against 3x. Okay, that makes it a pretty easy fold. Like, that 3-bet sizing is so big against min raise, I just don't need to defend against it much at all. And I think it's too big and not particularly good. You'll note that when I 3-bet against min raise, I always just pot, which some people think is too small, but I think those people are basically just kind of polarized nits that they're not comfortable playing a little bit wider range post flop in more tactical situations. He 3-bets it again. All right, I call with ace 10 off. I think he just has a super wide 3-bet range right now. But then again, well, I don't know. He turned it down a couple times. He pots flop. Okay, I guess I call. If he has a better ace, then like good work. He's got me. Actually, if he ships here, I can consider an exploitative fold. Because, like, can he have worse aces very much? I don't know. I can't get away from this right now. Yeah, he just has nothing. Okay. I was a little worried about running into ace king, ace queen, ace jack there. But, again, he has poor momentum, and he's 3-betting so aggressively against my 3x that I just couldn't give him that much credit to fold an ace at that point. Again, we're min-raising weak hands right now. And I don't even mind if he wants to 3-bet enormous against my min-raise like that. I don't care. I'll just fold to it. Now it looks like he may be starting to like auto 3-bet more against my min raise now to try to like counter that sizing leveling thing. So I'm gonna switch to next time I get a good hand, I'm gonna min raise it and hope he 3-bets enormous, and then I'll probably 4-bet. This I'm just check folding. When he's playing really aggressive like this and trying to steal back momentum, I'm gonna play like pretty trappy out of position and just let him hang himself and barrel into me. So now I'm going to try 3xing a weaker hand, since he's now 3-betting more against my min raise. It's so it would seem. It could be just a coincidence about what hands he happened to have, but I know that he will actually think about... Yuri will do these tactical leveling things based on sizes, which makes him fun to play against, I think, a lot of the time. Because he'll actually look for stuff like, you know, oh, which of your open sizings is now stronger? I'll 3-bet that one less, and so on. My 7 might be good here. 2 pair, it's not bad. Just pot river after checking back twice, although I think I rarely get a call here. Oh, I do get a call. Nice. Yeah, he doesn't tend to believe me as much when I check back twice and bet river. Most people do, but he doesn't tend to believe that one quite as much. Oh, now he's going to be folding some buttons. Okay, he's backing off, so, he doesn't usually back off his button to dramatic enough proportions that, again, now I've swapped to 3xing weak hands and min-raising good hands based on his 3-betting. I'm not even going to defend 4-3 off against min-raise. I just don't care. Unless I'm only going to be doing that if I have, like, good leading momentum or something, and I haven't really been leading this match much at all. So I'm going to min-raise now on the button. He flats it. Alright. He may lead to try to steal this, in which case I'll just call, because I don't believe him. Ace turn, again, I mean, now I don't think he's going to try to make a play at this again. Could have busted diamonds, he could have a 2, which would be interesting. He could have some pocket pair, although I think he would have been 3-betting those pre-flop right now, so I doubt it. If he, like, bombs river, he basically just has, like a 4 or nothing that he was trying to trap check the turn. Oh, or he hit a river. Or he hit the 8, that's fine. But, yeah, I thought if he bombed the river, he would basically just have either a 4 that he was trying to trap check the turn with, or nothing. Alright, cool. We can 3-bet against his min-range, of course. Again, I'm going to 3-bet a pretty high frequency against his min-raise. I'm just defending a lot against min-raise, both 3-bet and... Here I'm going to half-pot it, just because I don't want to commit to the polarization of pot here. When I still got some outs, and I get raised? Really? I don't buy that. Oh, okay, cool. Pick up the nut flush draw on the turn and check it. I mean, what is he going to have here? Like, he's repping like a 6 or something. I think he's going to be bluffing a lot because I half-potted the flop. Unless he actually has the 6 and just wants the money in, which could be plausible. I guess if he bombs turn, I can fold. Like, if he pots it for half his remaining stack. Yeah, wow. Okay, I only beat, like, complete air here. He doesn't fold much of anything. Fine, okay, I'll fold. You got me that time. Min-raise this one because I can play it against the 3-bet, and I think he's 3-betting much more against my min-raise right now. Yeah, okay. So I think his frequency right now for that 3-bet against min-raise is enormous, and he just has nothing a whole lot. I'm going to min-raise this flop with top pair and hopefully slow down the action a little bit. Get him to, like, either fold now or, like, call and check turn. If he 3-bets flop, I don't even know. I'll have to think about it. That seems outlandish. It's also okay to just, I think the more normal play here is to just call flop and then like look for safe turn cards because that's such a coordinated flop. But I represent a ton of stuff here that he's going to have a really hard time just like 3-betting blindly into. I think he'll either tank fold or... Oh my god, he does 3-bet it. Wow. I don't believe him. I'm just going to ship it light here with top pair and a gutter. I think he's just really looking for reasons to make moves right now. And if he doesn't snap call, I don't think he has a hand that beats me very much. I mean, he can't like 3-bet fold with 2 pair or whatever. So, yeah, ace jack, I thought so. He's just trying to get, he's just so merged right now, trying to get some momentum back. I think that's just way too thin for value. Like, bet 3-bet flop, get it in with second pair on that board, I think is just terrible. Like, I think he's kind of tilted and trying too hard to get momentum back and just merging himself, value cutting himself to death. Which is definitely something I've gotten into myself plenty of times when I have bad momentum. I just think if my momentum's bad, surely I can just thin value bet everything, no matter how thin it is, because they'll call me down super light because of my bad momentum. Well, not really. Like, decent players aren't going to call you down absurdly light all the time just because your momentum is bad. And that's something it took me a while to learn, personally. I just fold this button. I don't care. He's 3-betting so much right now that I'm not going to be opening every button. I'm probably going to open, you know, 85% or whatever, which is kind of my typical first drop down in button range. I just basically start folding the absolute worst shit at the bottom. Here I just lead pot with an open ender. That's a good spot to introduce a leading range and kind of see what happens. He may just raise me with any two because he's crazy right now. Okay. Yeah, I think he's definitely tilted right now. And he's just going to be pressing aggression too hard to try to regain momentum, and it's not going to... Probably not going to work most of the time, unless he, you know, coolers me or sucks out or something. I mean, I have nothing here. Check through. Turn a gutter. It's not too bad. I think I can actually check back flop, raise turn here. Because I haven't done that at all, and he can have air a lot of the time. He calls, looking for the 6. That does not do it. But I think I can barrel river, because I just haven't... I'm going to half-pot barrel river. Because if he has draws, busted draws will fold. And, oh, that's too bad he has a pair. He has an 8. Yeah, that's fine. I figured that he'd have an 8 or a busted draw. And, there's no reason... Like, the 8 calls, like, pretty much any sizing. And the busted draw folds to any sizing. So I figured I could be... inelastic there. I figured I could like play as if I were facing an inelastic range there, and like basically small bet my bluffs and big bet my value in that particular spot. This should have been a min raise, but I have a feeling he might 3-bet it this time. No. That's not a great flop for me. The last pot didn't go that well, so I'm not going to see bet bluff. Turn a king, that's good. Cool. I'm going to actually check back flop raise turn again this time, exactly the same way. He might see that as the value that it is, but I'm hoping he just kind of looks one level lower than that and thinks it's a bluff. This is kind of an interesting spot because of what just happened last hand. Now, if he 3-bets turn, that is interesting, but I don't think I can go anywhere because of the momentum right now. If he happens to have... Yeah, fuck that. I call his 3-bet on the turn. If he happens to have 2 pair or something here, then, like, touche. But he's just been too crazy lately. Now I, of course, underbet to induce. Bet, like, 25. See if I can get him to call with, like, a queen. Although if he does, like, check shove a value hand here that beats me, then, like, bravo, that's pretty sweet. But I was calling a river shove anyway, so it's a little unnecessarily fancy if he does that. Good lord, wow, he turned better. Okay, congrats. That's lucky. Oh well, I just play crazy long enough and eventually you cooler someone, but you lose in the long run. I don't like the river check shove for the record. I think he should just jam river because it's too easy for me to check back and he doesn't get paid. And his image is so crazy, he may as well just jam river. So yeah, I mean, that was a spot where he made a kind of fancy move that worked out, but I think it would have been better to just make the straightforward move in that spot anyway. Here I half pot with my open ender. I don't want to like polarize to the point that I block it. Ugh, that sucks. I don't like the 4 diamonds, obviously. If I didn't have terrible momentum from what just happened, I would maybe be able to make a move here, but that's unfortunate. Again, I'm not going to defend 4-3 off right now, even against min raise. It's just in the bottom, like, 10% or whatever, and it's just garbage. No reason to fuck with it. I'm in 3xing buttons right now, and he's folding to 3x again a bunch now, so I think I'm going to start min raising. Well, I don't know. We'll see what he does. I'm just kind of curious what the next thing he's going to 3-bet is. I will defend 5-4 off against min raise. That's a little bit better. And I flop an open ender and a bad flush draw. I'll go ahead and lead pot. See if I can take one down. Get raised huge. I guess I call. For a non-heart to. Oh, straight's good. I'll lead half pot here. If he has a flush, then this is a cooler, given the current dynamic. Or if he has like a better straight or some shit, I don't know. But he could have raised me easily with like top pair or just like the ace of hearts or whatever. So if he raises here, I feel confident getting it in, and usually I'll be good. Board pairs in the river. That's unfortunate, but I'm not that worried about it. I don't think he has sets or boats too much. Yeah, jacks. I'm good. Cool. Very nice. Min raise button now and see if I can get him to just angrily 3-bet. He min 3-bets. That's probably a misclick. So I'm looking to maybe stop the match after an hour. We've been playing about 37 minutes so far. And Yuri agrees, so that's good. So it's on him, waiting on him to play the flop here after misclick min 3-betting. Just check back ace high. So, again, waiting on Yuri here. There he goes. Alright, he half-pots turn, I'll call. I got the 4 on the river. I'm going to call a river bet now. I guess he could have picked up backdoor spades on the turn and made it. He could have a 10 or a 6, but yeah, he doesn't. I half-pot river and see if he'll call me with a 3. I might be value cutting myself into a 6 there, I don't know. But I thought maybe a 3 or worse 4 could call. I don't care about defending 10-3 off, even if it might be technically correct, but it's so marginal. It's like such a janky hand, it doesn't do anything post-flop, I don't care. He 3-bets into my king 8 off. I guess I just fold. I don't need to defend that wide against 3-bet, really. So there we go, he 3-bet my 3x again. So that might just be because he had a hand, because his 3-bet frequency has definitely gone down since earlier in the match. I'll min raise a weak hand, because I don't want to get 3-bet, and the last time he 3-bet, it was against 3x. Of course, that doesn't mean he might not do it again, especially if he has it, but, oh lord, I actually fold the tiny 3-bet there. I guess it's not tiny, that's a pot 3-bet. That's the one I prefer against min raise. Not going to defend 7-3 off, even against min raise, it's just too bad. Unless I have very strong momentum. Again, min raising button, the hand I don't want to get 3-bet. He's flatting. I think I can just c-bet this. I haven't c-bet much lately. I think a lot of times he'll just fold. Because he should have lots of random stuff. Check calls. I turn a 3. It's not too bad. He can have ace high. I'll check back, and then hopefully he'll miss the river and bluff into me. Maybe he'll reverse float bluff the river here. He could have a 6 or a 2, but he could also have busted spades or just ace high. I'll call. Yeah, or just... Oh, jack on the river. Huh, nice. He had nothing before that. Don't need to defend 9-2 off even to get to min raise. I guess I'll defend 10-5 off against min raise. That's kind of marginal. Flop nothing. I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't really want to give up very much right now, so I'm just going to kind of wait a little bit for a hand. Exploitively fold a little. I just feel like he isn't folding to much of anything unless I like go all the way, repping a real big hand where it makes in a spot where it makes sense right now. He's not going to defend against 3x right now, whatever that is. Queen 4 off. I guess I defend against min raise. Nah, not gonna bother. It's almost been long enough for me to lead pot with air again and get an exploitative fold, but not quite, so I just check fold. 3x my ace 4 off. See what happens with 3x a junky hand. I think the last time he 3-bet was actually, well, against 3x. Maybe I should have min-raised this. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to 4-bet now. Pretty quickly to like a small sizing. Hope he like levels himself into a fold. It might have been better to 4-bet big and polarized here because it would force him to flat less often pre. But I'm kind of going on a... Oh, fuck. He min 5 bets. I guess I have to call and try to speculate. That sucks. I have a gutter. Min 5 bet. Wonderful, wonderful. I guess he just wanted the momentum? I don't know. I mean, stacks aren't deep enough for me to try to hit a gutter here. Flop trip 6s. I'm just going to lead pot. Look, now hopefully this looks like I'm just trying to regain momentum. I hope. Although he may just fold. Oh, he raises me. I'm going to donk call and donk pot to try to rep a bluff on that king. Hope it's a reverse scare card. Be sick if he raised me again and he calls. That's fine. And pot river. And hope he calls it down. He folds. Alright, fair enough. Alright, 3x button. flop nothing. But he's just not giving up very many pots in general. Like, so I just can't, I feel like I can't make that many moves on him. He's giving me, like, late street credit, but not early street credit. So I guess that means I should just narrow my flop range, basically, and just kind of put in less money on the flop until I have equity. Just so that, you know. Well, I guess, yeah, it just means I should basically kind of reduce my flop aggression, but connect my ranges more so that if I do fire flop, I'm basically firing all the way most of the time. I should be getting rid of 1 done and 2 done most of the time right now, because he's giving me late street barreling credit, but not like early street exploitative fold credit. I flop nothing, just check fold. Here I can definitely 3-bet pretty merged against his min raise. Probably would not 3-bet against 3x, but against min raise, I think it's good to get him merge more. Get 4-bet. I'm just gonna fold to reverse implied because that's the first 4-bet he's made this match, and queen 10 off can get me in a lot of trouble when we're deep. He 3-bets my 3x. I will call him with queen jack off. Flop nothing. That's unfortunate. I think I can actually bluff raise flop here though pretty effectively. Although he hasn't been 3-betting that much recently. Actually, I prefer min raise flop and bomb turn here, because last time I min raise flop in a 3-bet pot like this, I had it, and he's got stacked and he calls. Actually, I'm gonna half pot turn and then like and then shove river, hopefully. This line does kind of represent a drawing hand a little bit. Yeah, that's actually probably a mistake. I should have potted turn so I could shove river more easily, or threaten to shove river. This looks a little weak and I can hope he interprets this as inducing, but he may just interpret it as a draw and like shove on me. That would suck. I only kind of hope he, yeah, all I can do is hope he interprets this as inducing and with like from like a king and folds it. Exploitatively folds, I mean. Nope, he thinks forever and calls. 4, 5, 6, 7 on board. Ah, man, I can't. Well, see, that's reverse scare, so like, I guess I can like 3/4 pot it and hope that he folds with his busted draws. God damn it! It's so annoying that he made it. I actually almost even think I was good before that river. So frustrating. Looks like he's running awfully good today. But I mean, I'm still only even down 30 big blinds because he plays so crazy. I'll just exploitively fold to his flop lead pot right now. He doesn't do it very much. I'm going to 3-bet pretty merge with the king 9 off. Hope to kind of make top pair and get it in here at some point. Flop nothing. Gonna be backing off my flop aggression. call a turn pot bet, although he probably has it. Well, river 8. Well, unfortunately the heart's got there as well. Still doesn't have a 9. He has a worse 8. Okay, very interesting. So it looks like we got 10 more minutes here. I might go a little longer since that annoying ass pot happened where he probably rivered the backdoor straight on me. I don't think he even had it before then. And he couldn't really have been bluffing, I don't think. This looks like, I don't know, this could be a number of things. I hope he... Hope he just folded. I'll just fold to his enormous 3-bet. He might have just had it that time, but again, that could be evidence that he's 3-betting big against min raises. Ace high, oh, he has better ace high, but we chop. Guess I have to call his 3-bet and flop a 4. I'm actually going to jam flop with a 4 here and hope he doesn't have an ace. Or a 10. This is a little bit desperate attempt to regain momentum. I think this is pretty marginal. This might actually be a mistake. Very nice. Thankfully he gave me credit for one. Flop an open ender, I'm just gonna lead pot. He folds, that's fine. Button. See, I guess I kind of feel like, yeah, 3x may be better when you have more credit for firing multiples. Flop nothing. Good God, really? Okay. Just not hitting much of anything at all this match. Can't get momentum going, really. And we're basically even. He is taking a long time at a lot of these decisions. I just fold. I'm nothing. Flop nothing. I'm going to lead pot though because he did fold to that last time. Hopefully he'll explodively fold again and try to get some momentum again. Nope. Well, I pretty much have to fire all three here and hope that he, there we go. Cool. Haven't really been potting very much, so I think he's going to give that line some credit. He can easily lead this flop, and I have a problem. Although I can probably bluff raise. Unless he like donk free bets, that'd be interesting. He calls. That's unfortunate. I can underbet turn here. Hopefully not get check jammed. Yeah, get check jammed. So he knows I'm trying too hard to regain momentum, and he's playing trapping lines about like revolving around that. But I'm still gonna keep doing some of it just because like when I do finally get him on one and get momentum back, I want to have a strong aggressive image going. I think he's just kind of had it a whole lot on the vast majority of the pots we've played, so that's unfortunate. But again, I'm still down very little, even after all that. I don't like that river that much, even like 9-10 got there. Probably just has like an 8. Nope. A 3. The worst 3 with busted flush draw. Fair enough. So yeah, I guess part of the dynamic against Yuri here is that we're both playing such an aggressively like tactical dynamic that the goal is we're both going to packing too much, I think, a lot of the time, and the goal is mostly just to keep up that aggressive image and not lose much when we're running bad, so that we can win the maximum when we're running good. And that doesn't work against everyone, but he and I both play that way, so it works well against each other. I'm just check folding, because again, I flopped nothing. Yeah, I've just got... Yeah, so I guess beating Yuri depends largely on momentum, and the goal is to just not lose very much when you don't have momentum, so that you can win a ridiculous amount when you do have it. And that's how very momentum-based play works. Watch him check back, flop, raise, turn again. It's sort of just like, when you're playing this way, this kind of style against somebody both you're real aggressive and kind of making a fair bit of moves, it's like, if you back off your early aggression too noticeably, then the whole thing collapses because they can back off into knitting it up, and then, like, you don't have that aggressive image as much once you start running good again. So you kind of have to keep pounding the early street aggression a lot of the time in this kind of match, and then just keep getting away from it on the later streets when you don't hit, and that can be frustrating. If it really goes too badly, you may have to back off into just being a nit for a while, but if you can keep up the early street aggression, you'll tend to get paid a fair bit more when you do finally hit a good run. Watch me get 4-bet here. Good lord. Alright, I flat. I just don't think he has much most of the time. I feel like check jamming this flop. I don't know why he 4-bet me. Oh, that was bad. He, in fact, had a hand. And I do not suck out, so I'm down a buy-in now. Yeah, this sucks. I just feel like I have to keep up this certain amount of momentum against him. He hadn't 4-bet in a while. I probably could have given him credit for a hand there. That was maybe a little bit off. But it's just annoying because I've had so little momentum for so long, and I've just missed so many flops now that I just kind of have to keep up the aggression against him to maximize my winnings when I do start running good. And I'm willing to be down a buy-in or two occasionally for that, so that I can win the big streaks where I win 7 buy-ins back. That's sort of how my dynamic with this type of player works. Call his small lead. Turn nothing. Check it back. I think he might have a 2 or a 5 here or something. Maybe a flush, busted flush draw could work. Or you could just have nothing. I don't know. pay him off and see what he does. Yeah, he has a 5. That's fine. It's important to me to kind of see a lot of showdowns right now and keep track of what his ranges are so that I can figure out a way to come back and regain momentum. I guess I can't really c-bet much because I have horrible momentum. My c-bets need to be value heavy, but I'm just hitting nothing ever. Turn an ace. I guess half pot it. This will look more like a bluff, I think, than potting it. Potting it will just look like ace high if it turned an ace. Pot river, hope he calls with the worst ace. Hope he shoves here, that's a terrible spot. Hopefully this rep's a bluff and he can call me down light though, because he does know I think I'm playing it in a way that looks a little bit tilted right now. I'm just missing so much. He folds it. Alright then. Whatever. Maybe half pot river would have been better. I'm not sure. But I wanted to rough a bluff if possible. I'm going to 3-bet wide and merged against min raise again. Get 4-bet again. Okay, I guess I fold. I think he's just picking up a lot of hands at really good times. It's kind of silly at this point. I'm still only down a buy-in, but like he's just kind of had it in every major confrontation. But this kind of style we're playing is really high variance, so I guess that's not terribly unusual. Flop a 2 and lead pot merged. Oh damn! Wow, I did not mean to donk min bet. It's unfortunate. Calls. And I don't like the 7 turn. The spade turn obviously is bad. Pots it, I'll just check fold, it's fine. Queen 5 suited, wonderful. Jack 9 suited. And he folds buttons. So actually, wow, okay, I think he may be tightening up his button now to try to get me to overextend into a strong range since he's a little bit ahead and he thinks I might be tilted, I think is what's happening here. 3-bet and call. Flop nothing, just like the last 70 flops. I'm just going to ship flop here. Well, actually I'm not. I'm going to call 1 barrel and probably we'll see on the turn. Well, I picked up a diamond draw on the turn as well and a gutter and still 2 overs. I'm going to call this. There we go. He just said what? Open it or 1 over. Yeah, I think his play is okay. That's a little bit of a cooler given our current dynamic. So now I'm almost back to even against him. The pot turn and pot river. try to rep something here. Although it's fairly easy for him to call. It's just I can also do this just lots of value hands and get raised. Okay. Let's try some min raise with some weaker hands, see what happens. He 3-bets pretty big, I fold. This has been an annoyingly difficult match so far. I'm going to switch back to min raise for a little bit, just kind of see what happens. See if he'll do anything different. Now that we're a little deeper, I might have some more room to maneuver. Queen 6-4, monotone. Check back flop here. Kind of mix it up a little. Hope he barrels into me, turn and river. And of course the spade river is awful. Just check it down, hope he doesn't have a spade. Cool. Call and defend the 10-8 off against min raise, of course. Flop 2 pair, that's cool. I'm gonna check raise this one. Or actually, I don't know. Well, yeah, it sucks. I'll lead turn then. Maybe I should have led flop there. I'm not sure how much I should expect him to c-bet that board right now. Yeah, he just checked back some fold. That's fine. I'm not even opening 9-3 off right now. I don't care. I think he's 3-betting too much against my min raise, and I don't want to 3x a hand that weak right now because I don't have the momentum to really 3x like ultra wide. So it looks like he's backing off a little more now. I'm going to 3-bet some king 5 suited. Get 4-bet again and call. He's 4-betting like every time I 3-bet his min raise. I'm going to check shove this flop with flush draw, not flush draw, 1 over. Yeah, I'm just tired of his 4-betting, and like every time a min raises 3-bet, I think he's just 4-betting me like relentlessly. Now because I regained momentum from that pot, I'm now 3xing temporarily every button and 4-betting against that 3-bet. I don't believe it. He may 5-bet bluff me here, which would be very high level and pretty good. Or he could 5-bet me wide for value, I guess. He flats. Okay, that sucks. That board, of course, smashes probably the range he has, which sucks. I basically give up now unless I hit some massively sick backdoor shit, which I don't. So I'm done with this pot. He probably leads turn with the lots of stuff that he has on this board, and I give up. King, queen suited. 3-bet. He 4-bets again. I flat. Flop fucking nothing. I'm gonna lead half pot this time. I seriously think his 4-bet range is just like any 2 right now. I'm seriously kind of prepared to just jam over his flop raise if he does it. I just don't believe it. Oh, really? Wow. Wow, sick. Wow, so sick. Well, I guess that's an easy flop call at that point, but... Okay, good hand, man. Lucky. But, I mean... You've been 4-betting that much recently. I mean, you know, it's always fortunate to flop great hands after you... I don't know how I just rebought $200. That doesn't make sense. Whatever. It's always fortunate to flop really sick hands when you 3-bet every hand. So I guess I'm now in 400. He 3-bets. I don't know why I called that 3-bet. That's kind of bad. I just fold flop. But anyway, yeah, he's playing pretty well, but he's also just run amazingly good on like every big pot. So I think I'm gonna rep the nuts here. I guess I fold, since he just kind of has it 100% of the time. I think he's just kind of hit every single flop, every time anything important has happened at all. That's not entirely true, but I've just hit way less than my share of flops, so... yeah, that sucks. I'm just not even going to bother c-betting here because he just doesn't fold to c-bet at all. Like 0%. Just check fold. So, yep. Not a whole lot I can do here. I just kind of miss 100% of flops and he never folds. Flat 3-bet, and flop nothing as usual. Got a gutter now, 1 over, 2 overs. Call turn. He may have been trap checking flop. I mean, I don't believe you. What are you gonna have? Yeah, nothing. We chopped though. Wow, sick. I could have jammed river. I thought about that, but oh well. Flop 2 pair. C-bet pot. Hope he thinks it's a bluff. He check raises me. I call. It's not the best turn, but I can jam over a turn barrel here. Unless he just has like queen 10 or 10-7 and bank this gutter there, which would suck. But I'm gonna half pot turn here. He check calls. Don't mind that river. I jam river now. Hope he thinks it's a bluff. Cool, there we go. Back in the game. Very nice. Cool. So value over bet representing a bluff finally worked there. Good times. He min 3 bets, probably a misclick. I will call half pot here with the second pocket pair. Jack's not a great turn card, but it's not that bad, because, you know, it doesn't change things that often. I'll check it back, try to get a showdown here. One thing that would be good here very often, unless he has a jack that he now value bets river with, or a 4. I feel like I'm gonna quarter pot the river and see if I can get thin value from like ace high. Now, if he's balancing his trapping ranges in a theoretically correct way, he should be able to check raise with like good hands here. But I feel like he's not. Like, he's too aggressive to be doing that. So if he check raises, I don't believe him. Quarter pot value for the win. That my king deuce suited. And he folds, very good. Alright, flop nothing. I think he will back off more now, because I just won that big pot, and he knows he doesn't have momentum, so now he'll give up more pots early, which is good. I'm going to 3-bet really wide for value here with queen 9 off against the min raise. Would not really do that against 3x like ever, but against min raise, sure. Just pot it. I hope he gives me credit because I have momentum. Cool, there we go. Back to 3xing buttons now because I want to make aggressive stuff happen, and I want to play bigger pots in position. I'm not going to see bet every time. We'll be a little bit more balanced than that. He can lead turn effectively here, and I'll just fold. It's fine. So I'm thinking we may call it in 10 minutes. But it's been an interesting match. Definitely some interesting spots have come up. I'm still slightly down, so we're almost even. He 4-bets it again. I guess I call when we're this deep. I'm going to lead half pot in this 4-bet pot. Calls. King turn is bad for me. I check it. Oh boy. I check fold here. Largely because I don't know what to do on the river if I check call. He can easily go on the river there, and I can't do a whole lot about it. Okay, fold 7-2 off. King 8 suited, and folds close. So he's definitely adjusting when he loses momentum and like folding a lot more buttons and stuff and letting me run over him a bit more. So that's good on his part. Defend real wide against min raise. Probably lead, start leading some flops, try to take momentum back. I'll just lead pot here with no equity because I have momentum, and he'll fold a whole lot if he doesn't have it. But since I think he's fitter folding the flop now, I'm not going to barrel much. Actually, I will. I'm going to bet check back out of position and see what that does. I think he might call it down light, pretty light, but I just kind of want to get some information on how he's going to respond to bet check bet. Like pot check pot, because it can represent a failed turn trap pretty well too. So it gets more credit than you might expect it to. Even though you might expect him to just snap me off with a 10 here, I could also have been trap checking turn with a good hand, so I get more credit. And he probably doesn't put busted flush draws in my range because I barrel the turn with those most of the time. He raises, really? I kind of want to 3-bet river. I don't believe him. But I guess he doesn't raise river much. His frequency's been very low, so I'll give it to him. He could have been slow playing, like, also. He could have been, like, trap checking back the turn, I guess. Flop top pair in the nut flush draw, that's good. He leads half pot. I'm going to raise big. Insta calls. Ooh, I got the nut flush. I'll just pot turn and try to wrap a bluff. And he just folds, it's fine. Half potted turn to be more deceptive there, I don't know. Check flop. Flop nothing here, just check back. So the dynamic has definitely died down now, somewhat because we're deep, somewhat because Yuri's momentum died off and he's giving me more pots now. To delayed c-bet. I'm going to overbet like really big on the river, and I think he'll pretty much always give me credit for value. Yeah. And that way I can introduce a little bit of overbetting dynamic and then maybe use it for value later on. Although we're about to quit in a couple minutes, so I don't know. Three bets it. I'm going to 4-bet pot. I may very well actually get 5-bet here. He folds to 4-bet. Very nice. So I've actually got more time than I thought. My plans tonight got moved back, so we're going to keep playing for a while. It's going to be a real long video. I guess we're at, what, like an hour and... oh, almost an hour and a half already. Tibet Botany folds. Again, yeah, I'm still slightly down here. I believe I'm in for 400 and Yuri's in for 300. There's kind of a glitch here on Bluff Ave where sometimes if you click a couple times real fast, it buys you in for double the maximum instead of the maximum. I think that's what happened here. I should not have been able to buy in 200 this last time, but that's okay. Seems like perhaps 3x stifles action a little bit too much when you get real deep, because people don't want to get in with vulnerable hands as much when it's very deep. So maybe I'll try some more min raising now that we're real deep. Alright, so I think what we're actually going to do is stop this video and start a part 2 here in a second. Because we're real deep and it's going to be interesting, but we've already got an hour and a half of footage. I'm going to sit out next hand and we're going to restart the video, get part 2. Actually, it looks like he's just going and stopping it. So here we go, ending part 1 of Heads Up Against Yuri.